I want to be Nicky.
Okay, first of all, thank you for coming to the press conference. There's still a hearing going on, so they're going to finish as soon as they can, and there'll be a debrief after they're done with the hearing down at the waterfront, but it still may take a couple more minutes after this press conference. So if you're interested, you can stay and wait for that hearing to be over. Otherwise, I'm sure you're all really hungry and tired, and it was a nice long day of sailing. One thing that Sophia said from Greece yesterday was she mentioned the word surgical in the way everyone tries to attempt their maneuvers. And it seems as though in mat racing the pinnacle of your boat handling is your surgical execution of all the maneuvers. And it was really windy today and the end of yesterday. So the question I wanted to ask you, Nicky, was one of the races, I'm trying to remember who you were against, but there was a race where two flights came in at the same time, like literally the same time at the weather mark. You were sailing against a Katerina, and you guys were coming in on the starboard ley line, and the other two boats were coming in on the port ley line, and you kind of split that fleet, and you forced Katerina over the weather side of the mark. So I actually haven't seen that happen too often. I've seen two fleets come in from the same side, they give each other some space, but never coming in at the same time, just completely meshed. So what was the thought process coming into that? Was it pretty easy to see what was going to happen?
It was easy to see, it was easy to line her up and sail her over the mark. It wasn't until she started to go over our bow and start to bear away into the other boats. And then I got a bit of a blackout, managed to get a jibe in and go around the mark the right way that she couldn't get through. But at this stage I had a blackout on all the other boats and luckily made it through.
Nice. And were there any flags flown on that?
It was a green flag from the umpires. It was because we were outside 2 boat lengths.
Right.
The top mark, yeah.
It seems to me that shows that even since yesterday, everyone's boat handling has gotten even better in these boats, because maybe if this had happened a week ago or a couple of days ago, there would have been some collisions there.
Yeah, definitely. We were quite lucky. We did a little bit of training in Sheboygan just before we came here, and we had one day of about 25 knots, so we got one day of heavy air practice. We could learn how to spin these boats quite quickly, and obviously the key is to make that main come off, otherwise.
Right.
Yeah. Problems.
Oh, Julie. One thing I wanted to ask you, I didn't get to see the list, but do you have a coach here with you?
Yeah.
Okay. What's your coach's name?
Laurent.
Laurent? You heard it. As far as I can understand off the water, but one thing I'm not familiar with, and a lot of people aren't familiar with, is what does the coach do for you on the water in between races? What kind of things do you discuss on the water? Is it very simple?
Yes, it's very simple, and because we don't have lots of time, so it's only what we do well or what we do wrong, and how to do our best for the next night.
Let's see. Petra? One thing I wanted to ask you, and this is something I've already spoken with them about it, there's a lot of foreigners here and I speak very fast, so I apologize and I'll slow down. In terms of communication on the water, obviously I think most of the umpires speak English, but not most of them speak your language. Is it a challenge communicating with the umpires and with your competitors if they don't speak your language?
Well, with the umpires, I don't communicate. I show my Yankee, and they all have flags, so it's not a problem. But I studied English, so for me it's not a problem.
Not too bad. I do know that some people try to influence decisions with their language, but it seems as though if you don't speak the language as well, it's hard to play that game.
On our boat is always very multilingual because I speak Italian also. We have an Italian coach, so sometimes you can also hear Italian on our boat without training.
Great. And Silja, one thing that we noticed is that in this improvement in everyone's performance, I mean, we really noticed that people are a lot closer today and putting things within inches, and very few contacts, if any, that we saw. And one thing we noticed from your team today is that your performance was markedly different than yesterday. You won a significant portion of your races today, and we spoke about it earlier. Did you watch a great movie last night? Did you get inspired by something? Did everyone have a massage this morning? Or what was the difference between yesterday and today?
Looks like our Dunkin' Donuts diet is starting to work.
Is that for weight or energy?
Both. No, I think we have a new team combination. We had a last minute change in the crew, and also it's a new boat, so just getting familiar with the boat and everything is taking some time. And we learned so many things today. We had to count them up coming in so that we wouldn't forget them until the debrief. And yeah, I think it's just about learning the Finland.
And your tactician is Silja? And one thing about you guys working better together as a team, I noted, I don't know if I correctly noted it, that you switched positions and from upwind to downwind. Do you do that? Yeah. Okay, and was that a little bit tricky to manage, at least the first day?
Yeah, it's getting better now.
It's better now? Okay, very good. We noted in one of our first press releases that Silja moves from the main sheet to the bow as a tactician, so it frees her up to get a better view of the course. But sometimes there can be some complications, maybe crossing over each other. But it seems like it's working a lot better. Well, it definitely seems like everyone's improving, and watching the racing is fantastic. So good luck tomorrow, everyone, and as soon as the umpires come up, there will be a debrief. Thank you very much. Okay, any minutes here to run a debrief with you.